She means well, but she don't know what being well means. Hey, what's the word? Welcome to another episode of Sunday Sidecar, the series that goes on for the benefit of the doubt of last week's Tuesday Ukeday drop from yours truly, Uke Brute. This week's episode, After the Sun Sets, Belly Stuffs with Regrets. So this is a recent song as well. Well, not as well. I don't know why I said that, but it's a recent song, only a couple months old. So it's a 2024 song as opposed to a lot of these songs. However, these 2024 songs are kind of piling up in here. Not nearly writing at the same rate I was last year, mostly because I'm focused on this. But there's still some coming, much like After the Sun Sets. So this song, it started off, like most of them, with just that opening riff that... And I was almost considering playing this against my typical playing style. I usually have my, as I've mentioned, the heel of my palm planted, and I just kind of pluck with my finger. This one I was almost considering doing the more typical. But I don't know, I like my style. It's hard to keep as much control, I feel. Anyway, so that's kind of how, I just came up with that. When I had that, it was actually, I had that for like a day or two, and I was really kind of digging it. I was like, oh man, that's kind of a fun riff. What do I want to do with it? And I was walking home from the grocery store like a day or two later, and I was thinking about this interaction I just had at the store, and it was this dude I was interacting with, like he meant well, but he definitely didn't know what it meant to be well. And with that kind of like launched the lyric in my head. I was like, oh, that's a cool line. I was like, I wonder maybe, can I force it into this melody? And sure enough, it came out. And it actually started with He Means Well. So the whole first couple of verses, even into the refrain when I had that written, the song was written as, He means well, but he don't know what being well means. And then I changed it for just the simple reason that the feminine pronouns work better, just saying better, and it's like how else can he expect to keep his head up in the cloud? But how else can she expect to keep her head up in the cloud? So it's really just like those simple things, just that changing from the he to she, it just flows. How else can she expect? How else can he expect? And then, to keep his head up in the cloud, to keep her head up in the cloud. It's just that her just kind of, it was really, I think that was the key change right there, was that her just flowed, whatever, just saying better. And then even when I got to the refrain too, which I had already written, I had those like first two verses, and I had like I think just the first chunk of that, the first stanza and the refrain, and it just after the sun sets, his belly stuffed with regrets, 'cause he sups on all of his upsets. But then, after the sun sets, her belly stuffed with regrets, 'cause she sups on all of her upsets. It just sounded better to me. I just sang better. So, again, it doesn't matter who it's being sung about. It's a fictitious character. What do they matter, correct? But just to get that out there, there was not the person who inspired it was just some random, and you know what, I can't even remember what the interaction was that left me thinking that, but sometimes it doesn't matter what the interaction entails, because it's what you get out of it, for better or worse. Sometimes you can have someone, break some hard truths to you that you don't want to hear, but it's true, but it hurts. And then later you forget what the actual details of the conversation were, but you just remember, man, I left that conversation with a bad taste in my mouth. And so you don't like the person, or you think differently of them, or sometimes. And, you gotta, just be careful about that sometimes, because that's, whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now. But, so yeah, I'm saying that maybe, this character in the song is just a fictitious person, but at the same time, they are, a character that we want to treat with respect. And that's why I even added those last two verses at the end, because originally the song just ended, with that high bar for respect, with a low bar for any truck. She helps out till the patience starts to rust. And then into the refrain. I just felt like that wasn't a satisfying conclusion for this character, and I'm sure you guys might agree. It just felt like it was missing something, some background, some context, and so that's when I was like, I need to add two more, or another verse at the end, which my song's kind of redundant in the first place. There's only essentially two melodies going back and forth. If I'm lucky, I can maybe get like a little bridge in there. None of them have like a middle eighths or anything, so I understand there's that tendency to not pay attention towards the end, which is, and I also fuck up towards the end a lot usually. But I think that last verse really kind of pulls the song together in a lot of ways that makes it work in a way that it wasn't working without it. And even though I really like the opening line, she means well, but she don't know what being well means. I thought that was a pretty fucking dope line. I like the opening line to the last verse. Not only more than that, it's, I don't know, just a little biased, but I think it's one of my favorite lines I've ever written. Grief lasts long, but it don't long for you like love does. And so we get some more background into who this character is. Oh, person has some grief going on, some big deal grief. And it should be, the grief's stuck in her gut, and I sing sits in her gut because, whatever. But then just, kind of leading to, instead of, supping on regrets and stuffing her belly with regrets, or supping on upsets, we need to be feasting on love from wherever you can get it. And that's, again, I really thought that final verse has really brought it together, even though it might seem superfluous because it's just the same melody and rhythm over and over again. But from a character perspective, I think she deserves it, even if she is still, supping on regrets. That's the song. Came together pretty well, I think. Obviously, I wish it could be played unsung better. You hear it, well, at least, I hear it a certain way in my head, and then you hear the actual version, and you're like, man, that just ain't it, champ. But, it says, do what I can. Yeah, so that's pretty much most of After the Sunsets. I'm just going to check out the lyrics. Anything else I want to... it's just basically about, someone who's trapped in the past, and they, instead of, waiting for the new day, taking advantage of the dawn, and, every day, they wait till the sun sets and just feast on, regrets. And that's, what people do, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's After the Sunsets. That's all I have to say about that one. Yeah, it's just what it is. Yeah, I don't really have much planned for this one because it's kind of straightforward. Excuse me. Yeah, but that's that. So, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in, and check back soon for the ditty from Uke Brute.